Okay, everybody. Hello, and Batgoat is back with me as he was run some stuff. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Forum on the Mikestand. Um, this week, with Batgoat as my co-host,
Oh, I gotta
be
mute.
taking a look.
Oh. Okay. Oh,
What's going on there?
I didn't have YouTube muted, so I was getting dueling mics in each ear.
Oh, oops. All right. So basically, we're going to continue our historical comic. Hello, Mike. Hello, ATC.
Just straight. I'll be right back.
All right. So this week, of course, we're going to look to September of 1936, the comics that went on sale there. Looking at some synopses in terms of the notes. Others will actually look into the stories. So I'll get the make sure that's the wrong one. Okay, there we go. There's the right one. Okay, so let's see now. Yeah, the counter is silly at times, huh? So let's see now. Batgoat looks ravishing as always. Was all right. My streaming device wasn't acting right, and by the time it did, it was too late. Okay. Anyways, so these 8 comics right here went on sale. You ready, Batgoat? Let me know when you're ready. You ready? Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Can you hear me? How's my sound?
You sound fine. You're coming in loud and clear.
Okay, great.
You ready?
I'm ready. Sorry.
No, bro. I started, and then I realized you were still fiddling around with stuff.
I was fiddling. I apologize for that.
No problem. At least we that's why I paused to let you finish up what
Toys. Look at toys flattering me. Thank you, sir.
yeah. And I just saw something. I was looking through my YouTube notifications. I guess Flash is streaming tonight as well.
Flashes?
Yeah.
He usually does Saturday nights.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know he normally does, but according to this, live in 30 minutes, Flashcast, manga crushing DC Comics, Star Wars versus and Amber Heard finished.
Okay.
So, but anyways.
Amber Heard finished again?
Yeah. But anyways, we're going to get to what we get to, which is classic comics and comics history.
Hey, Solid, I didn't say hi.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Still pop into watch. Pop into watch. Okay, so anyways, let's get going here. So these 8 comics are what went on sale. So we have a couple of debut comics here. Now, going into this, DC was the only company at the time that had multiple titles with new comics and more fun comics. But now Dell and Centaur are adding more titles here. Dell, which also has popular comics, was debuting funnies um, this month, and then Senchar, which had which now well started out as comics magazines and comics magazine funny pages, and now funny picture now just funny pages will have another title debuting here with funny picture stories, and we'll be looking a bit more in depth into you know those two as well as popular number 10 and more fun number 15. But first off, let's look at some of the other ones here that are not milestones, just to kind of get some basic information and go look at some notes on these. Tip Top Comics from. Were you about to say something, Batgoat?
I'm sorry, I just cleared my throat.
Okay. Tip Top Comics from United Features here. So in a six, now as I said, up to this point, of course, DC was the only title that only company that was publishing multiple titles. Now Dell and Senchar are getting into the act. But United Features here, of course, with Tip Top Comics. So for the 64 page count, let's see how many stories they have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 64 pages for 21 features. Basically meaning that um, that obviously the average number of pages per feature is increasing. Before with these anthologies, it was 1 to 2 pages, but now you're getting up into the 2 to 3 page count per story, which means there's more content within the stories, but less stories. So, and also when I talk about funny picture stories, there's another little tidbit with that as well. Again, a lot of the comics are still, hodgepodge anthologies, albeit you're going to start seeing a change in that pretty quick here. But let's see. Let's go take a look at Grand Comics database just to go through the notes real quick and just see if there's any particular notes of interest there in terms of like stories and stuff. I'll be dashing through this real quick. Okay, so up to number 6 here, partially indexed according to this thing. Here's the cover of Tip Top Comics number 6, 10 cents. Over 100 funnies, including Captain and the Kids, Tarzan, Little Abner, Benny for junior readers, Fritzy Ritz, Looney. You can see all the different stories in there. Ben and Barrett. Okay, so inside front cover for this one, for the Grin and Barrett one, and then you have a couple of them here. That let's see, these are 2 stories that are kind of together that run across 3 pages. Like the top half of the page is 2 by 3/10 of a page. The other is 3 by 7/10 of a page. Got the Tarzan story there. And then, of course, you have some of these have multiple. You have partial pages. Coaching one is so if you see the fractional numbers, take that like right there. You see 3/10 by 3, 3 by 7. So it's what's done with a lot of these reprint collections. Okay, so new comics here. And this one was a little bit more. Again, it was still kind of a new comics and more fun were still hodgepodge. So you had one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24. So that that was an average of 2 2/3 pages per feature, which basically would be about 2 to 3 pages of it. Let's go through real quick, see if there's any notes on that one. I think that was we're at number 9 there. Again, I'm just going to go through these pretty quickly. Issue note, of course, the on sale date from the publication date as submitted to the U.S. Copyright Office found in the catalog of copyright entries. So, kid boxers and referee for the cover photo there. Feature appears here between More Fun number 13. So in Unk, feature appears here between More Fun number 13 and number 26. So, and as I mentioned too before, some of these titles featured continue in More Fun number 10 from Slim Pickens. A lot of these would, they of course here's the Tale of Two Cities adaptation, Charles Dickens adaptation. You have a lot of these titles that would move around from book to book. So, another novel adaptation right there with he. Oh yeah, Federal Man, which I told you was another shooting story featuring Steve Carson. The Unknown Enemy Part 2 here. Steve disguises himself as one of the crew and sneaks aboard the Invisible Empire, floating. Yeah, the Unknown Enemy. It's the story is alternate. Now, if you guys ever look this stuff up yourself, if you see a title like this in parentheses, it means that the story was not originally titled. The title was added retroactively. So here they call it the Unknown Enemy. The other site I use there, Mike's Amazing World, they call it the Invisible Empire. So for that, just as a little heads up there. Steve disguises himself, one of the crew, and sneak aboard the Invisible Empire floating island, but he is unable to stop them from unleashing the giant metal robot upon the city. So yes, they even had mechas back then, back in the 30s. Albeit, of course, in America they would not have called them mechas; they would have called them just giant robots. But yeah, so anyways, back to
They would have back then. They always called them robot.
And then, of course, the oldest up to this point, the oldest of the comics, Famous Funnies. They have a G-Men type story as well here. You can see that on the cover there. 64 pages. So let's see. A lot of these are reprints, so they're going to probably be 1 to 2 pages. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So basically about another one that's averaging about 3 pages, or no, actually, I'm sorry, just over 2 pages. But some of these titles like the Bungle Family, Jane Arden, Lena Pry, Toddy, Ned Brandt, Joe Palooka, they'll eventually move to other titles. Slim and Tubby, they'll move to other titles, most notably Quality Comics, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that today as well in regards to one of the stories I'll feature. So let's go take a quick peek at the. First, let me see much we've done on time 1632. Okay. That you were answering toys there.
Yeah. Yeah, his new project he's talking about there. Sounds cool.
Okay. Okay, so let's see now. Okay, so back to this. Let's go and take a quick peek at the notes. As I said, Famous Funnies was the oldest comic of that time. It was already up to issue number 27 from Eastern Color, first major publisher that actually even predates DC there. So they're saying here in the issue notes, almost all of the content of this comic consists of newspaper strip reprints modified to fit comic book format. The dates of publication says have, and particularly all cases have been removed. The usual next issues on sale date is missing from Let's Get Into a Huddle, page number 26, but issue number 25 contains the statement for 2 years now. We have been coming to you from Famous Funnies every month on the 15th of every month. So, War on Crime, Smatter Pop, first photo cover in comics, part photo, part art. Oh, in that G-Man comic right there. See that? You see that right there, Fat Goat? I think that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
See if I can bring that up a bit more. So you have mostly the artwork, but right here where it says G-Men, that's a photo that they were able to put on there. Authentic stories of the G-Men. Beginning in this issue, read War on Crime. So, and again, a lot of these are still kind of hodgepodge anthologies where you have a bunch of different, pantomiming wordless comment for Jabby. Okay, first true crime stories in comics and newspaper strip began in May of 1936. The War on Crime one, by Rex Goller and James Harmon. I guess this is what they're saying is that was the first comic that was actually devoted to real cases. Like whereas Federal Men, which predates this, is more obviously made up. You got Buck Rogers, so he. note here. The bottom tier is the Wet Blanket by the same creator. And again, you had some, again, as we noted here, top half of the page covered one portion of the story. Some of these bottom portion of the page. Maybe, yeah, it doesn't look index or notes. The Sunday page is shared equally between the Nebs and Simpo Dill. Luca, oddities. Page daily get. So yeah, not a whole lot in terms of, let's see. Script previously credited to Ralph Briggs Fuller, but McClearly. So I guess for this one here, Okey Doke with William McClearly and Ralph Briggs Fuller, or signed as R.B. Fuller. Previously credited to Ralph Briggs Fuller, but McClearly was the author for 40 years. And then, of course, the two and one, somebody Stenog and actually Driver there. Index or notes here for Jane Arden lead. Another one that was kind of split, equally, like 4 Sunday pages, each one featuring a sequential Jane Arden storyline, the top half of the page, and a self-contained Lena Pry story, a third of a page, and then a fashion panel, Jane Arden's wardrobe, a sixth of a page. Again, a lot of these are just, newspaper reprints. Oh yeah, don't think there's much more there. Oh well, yeah, just going through this. I'm just giving quick little notes here, trying to get through this stuff as quickly because I know we're already already past 20 minutes here. And then I know this is just skeleton data. I already checked earlier. Number 7 was just skeleton data, but we'll take a quick peek at it just to see if there is anything there of any interest. Actually, there's maybe a little bit more here. Let's see. Issue notes, of course, on sale. They always say that. Bring up Father Henry Thimble Theater on the cover here. You got Popeye, Sleepy, Henry, Eugene the Jeep, Wimpy, and Jiggs juggling. Here, I'll even pull up the cover photo for you guys to take a nice
Who's
peek.
Jiggs?
I guess he was one of the features in there.
Yeah. I don't recall him.
Let's see. So on the top there it says, let's say G-Man, King of the Royal Mounted, Flash Gordon, Mandrake the Magician, and your favorite comics, King Comic. And of course, it was David McKay Publishing, but David McKay Publishing, but they were doing the King Feature Syndicate. So. Struggling. Yeah, so not much more than just a description of the cover there. So at least that's a lot of the preview stuff, or at least the So now we'll get into the feature stuff here. Funnies, Funnies comment. Now this is the second title that Dell had. Again, as you can tell, it's primarily just more Well, this one's probably just a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, they're all comic strip reprints. It looks like, but 64 pages. They got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. So 21 featured over 64 pages. That's about an average of like 3 pages per feature, basically. So they are expanding a little bit more here. Some basic information on funnies, which eventually became new funnies at issue 65. So 1 through 64 was funnies, and then new funnies. So there were 288. So you went from funnies to new funnies to Walter Lantz new funnies. Walter Lantz was the guy who created Woody Woodpecker. So Walter Lantz new funnies, and then Walter Lantz new TV funnies, and then Walter Lantz new funnies. So that's this title, this particular book went for 288 issues, even though it went through a couple of title changes. It was funnies for the first 64 of those issues. Of course, this came out from Dell Publishing. Dell was around, as we mentioned before, was around from 1936 to 19. And I went a little too fast there, to 73. This particular book went from 1936 to 62. So before we go into the one story that I'll read on this, I'm gonna go ahead and just go over to just take some looks at see if we can get some more like notes on the book and all that. 64 issues from 1936 to 1942. So notes, this combined, okay, so the notes here for this particular title, this combines newspaper strips, reprints with some original material. So it would eventually do that. I don't think in the first issues all it did was reprints, but back in these days, that's how they started out. They started out just doing putting reprints into comic book form. So let's index it on let's see. So for the Warrior on inside front cover, actually 4 single panel gag titled, and then 4 titles there. Got all the partials there, and then the story from this book. Let's see. Each page has a. So we have another one where we have partial here. But the one story I was going to look at here was, of course, going to be Alley Oop. You know, Alley Oop moved to this title from the other titles. But did I pass it? Oh, there we go. In the index or notes for the Alley Oop, a Denny's Family album panel on each page. Adventure. Wow. That now that I've been exiled from Moon. Okay. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and go take a look from here at Alley Oop from Funnies #1. Just again the sample kind of storytelling there. As soon as this is from Dell. Okay, so let's see. Funny, it's right here. Apparently didn't hit. Well, according to this, well, okay, that may have been one of the other ones, but anyway, so we're gonna probably be flashing through this pretty quickly. I'm just gonna try to get to alley oop, then read that one, and then go back and do the other one. So I'll just kind of flash through here. Worry work and done. Yeah. He'll spend Tommy, an aviator type one right there. Flapper Fanny, Vernon North special nurse. Now you can tell even by the titles, regular fellers, nut, out of the way, hot auto honk, Stranger Than Fiction, Captain Easy, Soldier of Fortune. You can basically tell that these are hodgepodge. Basically you got different types of stories, everything with humor. Here we go. Here's Alley Oop right here.
Mm-hmm. Mutt and Jeff, those two are famous.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing those, but I figured Alley Oop,
Yeah.
Because we'll get to see a lot of Mutt and Jeff moved around quite a bit. They were even in DC Comics for a while, believe it or not.
Alley Oop had the song. The song was Ray Peterson. Who was the guy that sang all the goofy songs?
Ray Stevens?
Ray Stevens. Didn't he sang an Alley Oop song?
Hmm. And then here's Denny's family album over here, the Longhorn Bison. So here we go. So let's get to the story here. Now that I've been exiled from Moo, I guess the first thing I'd better do is to look for me a place to live. Let's see. I can go over to the mountains and hunt up a nice dry cave, but I kinda hate to go so far away. You know, yerp yerp. Yerp, pop, 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 pop. Listen, the birds warble. Gee, they must be awful happy. Say, there's an idea. I'll just fix myself a nice place up in some big tree. Then I can be happy too, just like the little birds. Yes, sir. Denny, old boy. I'm gonna have me a nice home in a tree, and this is gonna be the tree. Boy, you can't take it from me. This is gonna be the fairies that'll sure have it all over, living in a dark, dingy old cave. Like my caveman, like my attempt at a caveman's voice.
That's good. That's good. I like it.
And he does seem like he's making a bit of a treehouse there, huh?
Yep.
See that? Think of all the nice fresh air I'm gonna get. I can't figure out why somebody hasn't thought of this before. Um, I guess I'm just a little smarter than most folks. I think I've got an idea of why they probably hadn't thought of it before. Let's see where this goes. Um, good night, Jenny. Sweet dreams. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. We already did those. Oh, is this ever swell? How there's how here. Oh, wait, now here's where I grab off a nice, quiet night's rest. Oh. Birds, meow, quack, keely, woebo. Boo hoot, yoink, yomp, yeep yeep, honk, bloosh, growl, woof, woof, yow, yipe, yipe. Uh, is there any comments so far? I wonder if anybody else is saying anything. Uh,
A lot of creatures
Woody
out
said,
there.
"Hey, Woody, Alley Oop was one of my favorite in the '60s Sunday Funnies." Well, yeah, he's been around for a while. He was back in the '30s too. I even named two cats, King Guz and Queen Umpa, um, after that series. Wow, that's pretty cool. Action Toy Channel saying hi to Woody. And then he replied back, "Hi, toys." And hi, Mike and Batgoat in the studio. Batgoat, you want to read this since it was you who replied?
Hey, Woody.
They stretch the series by creating a modern day Professor One Mug and had a time machine. Professor Womog. Okay. Okay, so back to the story then here. We get here to the top. There's another Guinea's Gorosaurus right there. Continuing the story here. Oh, what a night! I never was so glad to see the sun come up. Brr. Hereafter, I leave the trees to the birds and hole up in a nice, quiet, dry cave. I guess maybe that's why nobody thought of sleeping up in a tree. Well, what do you say, Batgoat?
That sounds right.
Yeah, yeah. The birds are all nice and they're all chirp, 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 chirp. But when it's yipe, yeah,
Yeah,
then it's a little different.
that was a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Denny. Let's get going. This is gonna be our busy day. We gotta find us some place to live. Ha! Here's where or here we oughta find just what we're looking for. This is a swell cave. Now, if it looks as good on the inside as it does on the outside. Now, this one, just to give you a heads up, is 4 pages. So, in funnies here, this is the only story we're gonna read, and then funny picture stories, um, only one as well. But we'll get to that in a moment. Hey, say you, say you horn snouted Snaggletooth. Oh, Yod. Oh, Yod. What's the big idea? Whoosh. Well, fur. Whop. Well, I guess that was his dino trying to save him from. Maybe the dino kind of knew that there were some some predators there. Look at that! Look, you see that back out?
Yeah, yeah. What are those jumping out of the cave there? Like,
They kind of look like leopards.
yeah, big tigers. Okay.
I think they're leopards because it looks like they got spots on them.
Okay. Yeah.
And then on the Denny's Family Island there, now they're talking about a Polacanthus right there, which looks a little bit like a Stegosaurus, but the spikes aren't as high. So let's see now. Jenny, you sure got yourself clawed. Don't you maybe hereafter you'll have sense enough to not to go sticking your nose and straight into strange caves you don't know nothing about. Kind of funny how he said that. With I think part of the reason Denny was doing that was to protect him. Don't you think, Batgoat?
Yeah.
Alley Oop doesn't seem like an overly bright individual. But then again, he's a caveman, so what can you expect?
Yeah.
And that probably is what made the strip so funny, right?
I think so. Yes.
But I gotta admit, you do bring out a nice load of spotted cats for me. So even they're acknowledging they're spotted cats. And of course, a leopard is a spotted cat. Now, while the sinks are drying out, or while the skins are drying out, well, we'll go see if we can't find another cave somewhere to make us a nice home. Ah, there's a likely looking one. Now, Denny, pay attention, and I'll show you how to find out if it's safe to go in there. First, we'll do a little preliminary investigating. If there's anything in there, well, we'll know about it right quick. Well, nothing happened. So I guess the cave is empty. Maybe. Bong.
Ouch.
And there's another cave. Look at the question mark over. He thought it was silent, so he thought the cave was clear. But
yep.
And then there's the flying lizards from Denny's Family album. Alley-oop. What's the idea? Throwing a boulder off in my skull. Yeah, Harry friggin'. Yep, I got a notion to lay a bust on your snoozle. Runt, for I lose my temper, and start scattering ya all over in place. Gone now, scram! What you? Why you? And look at that, he gets punched.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one.
Wow. What was that?
That was a good one.
Wow, that mug is tough. Now, what's he gonna do? And that goes for you, you lumpy lord lizard. Now, scat. Why that dirty? The question mark, flames. And now you got more, more people coming. Well, have I gotta give you some too? Woof, a little woof, little fella, big wallop. Kick 'em slats out of big tough King Erg. Now you king. Hey, what's this? Well, hot zig. Can can ye can ye tea that? Doing the best I can to read these, but sometimes the print's not always that great.
Yeah, and it's rough language too. They're using a lot of the street vernacular.
Well, the fact that they're making cavemen talk. Okay, I guess that was it. That was it. Okay, so that was it for Alley. Hopefully, you enjoyed my rendition of a caveman story there.
Very nice.
Okay, so that's all. Okay, so we already covered all that. So let's see now. So now, now with that being said, now we're going to get on to probably the thing I was going to probably end up talking a little bit more about here because some interesting things here. Bit of a change in tone here from the, and I'll be right back as well. It looks like Batgoat had to step away from the camera. I'm going to step away for a quick sec. I'll be right back.
Sorry, I just had to plug in my computer.
Yeah, and I had my nose is starting to run it again, so had to take care of that. Oh wow, we got 8 people in here! Yay, 8 people! I'm glad to see we have 8 people. Yay! Welcome everybody. According to YouTube, it's 2, but according to now we're back down to 2. So I guess we had 8 people in here for a while. But anyways, so on to this next one, and this next one's going to be a little bit interesting because up to this point, all the when we talked about the comics, a lot of them have they've been anthologies. Have been so I called them hodgepodge anthologies. The reason I call them hodgepodge anthologies is because you had a bunch of different types of stories. You had action adventure, you'd have humor, and then you have of course a lot of subgenres as well. Well, Funny Picture Stories number 1 here is the first themed anthology. This is all original. Now, this is new comics, and those were already original new comics and more fun. But Senchar here is now giving us our first themed anthology, and you notice a lot less story. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have eight features here with 64 pages. So on average, that means 8, 8 now funny picture stories here. So some notes here. This series was numbered by volumes. Volume 1 was numbers 1 through 7. Volume 2, 8 through 18. Volume 3, 19 to 21, with issue number 22. Volume 3, number 4. The series was retitled Comic Pages. And then there's some other notes that we'll look at. And when I get to the story that I'm going to feature here, which is going to be the clock here, alias the clock, this is going to be the story I'll read from this one from George E. Brenner. But I have a few things to say about that before we get into the story itself. So let's go to the Grand Comics database real quick so we can take a quick peek at some of the notes here. Now, the clock is another one of those stories that will move around quite a bit. Clock will end up in Quality Comics in 39, which will eventually become a part of DC's library. So first off, now according to this right now, there are only 7 issues here because these were done by the Indicia Publishers Comics Magazine Company Incorporated. Numbering continues with Funny Picture Stories, Altern 1937, Volume 2, Number 1. Basically, what this is basically saying is that the title moves to another company. This book moves to another company, is I think what they're saying there. So, okay, so here's the issue notes. Funny Picture Stories is published monthly by Comics Magazine Company, which gave us the Comics Magazine Funny Pages, one we previously read a little bit about. Order story, synopsis, and credits added from scan of credit page, actual contents and page links. Stories need to be verified from actual copy on sale day. And then alias the clock on the cover here, George Brenner, the one pager. And then here, so the clock is a detective mystery. Again, as I said, this is a themed anthology, which meant that you had one specific theme as opposed to being a hodgepodge mix of a bunch of different stories. This was a specific theme. So the clock captures a night watchman who was in on a jewel heist. So you have the detective mystery here. The clock also appears in Funny Pages, Volume 1, Number 6, which has the same cover date. The clock's civilian name of Brian O'Brien is not given until the character's later run in Feature Funnies, Feature Funnies was published by Feature Funnies was published by Quality, as I said. Of course, this is a 7-page story here, and then Tom Campbell's 7-page story, but you got Adventure, Red Dolan, which I think Red Dolan might actually move over to Fawcett. I think, I'm not fully sure. There's another detective mystery, adventure. So this one's more in the Western Frontier, adventure. So in jungle. So basically, you have the theme of this particular book is adventure with subgenres including detective mystery, jungle, and all that. But this is more of an adventure anthology right here. Stated so. Let's see now. It looks like we had some more comments here. Woody was saying, I looked it up. The song hit number 1 in 1960 and was written by somebody that wasn't Ray Stevens. Well, it was written by somebody other than Ray Stevens, but was it performed by him or not? And Batgoat, you want to read this since this is what you said?
I said, very cool. I stand corrected.
All right. So now we're already at 50, almost at 56 minutes. That took me just that long just to get. Now this one's going to be a 7-pager. So, anyways, to read through it a little quicker. Center Publishing, funny picture stories. Now the clock is interesting too, in that just the way he kind of the old pulp style. So here's the cover, of course. Cover date November. 10 cents. Funny picture stories. The all picture magazine in colors. Mystery, thriller, ace adventure, western. Oh. And then you have Alias the Clock right there. Got what they say looks like a clock faced mask there. So let's get into this then. And here, of course, the contents. And then here we go. Alias the Clock. Which I think is actually what the feature was, even though the hero himself was called the Clock. And you'll see why here. A complete gripping story of the underworld and a super detective by George E. Brenner. Now, just in case you guys didn't know, some people will, like, I think George, GEO, is used as an abbreviation for George. So that was more common in more older times. So you have on the first page here, you have the newspaper headline from the Daily Mail. Fifth Avenue jewel dealer robbed a fortune. Uncut stones valued at millions. Watchmen beaten and bound. Extra, extra. And all I know is I was cracked on the head, and I must have laid there till Mr. Barlow found me when he opened the store. Oh, okay, Hunt, you can go, but beware we can get in touch with you to identify any suspects. Kind of nice with nice big word bubbles. The owner of that jewelry store outside, Chief. Show him right in, Sam. I just finished questioning your night watchman, Bill Hunt. Was the stuff insured? Well, yes, but not for their value after cutting. Captain, I want action because those stones were already sold. Think of my profit, and if you don't, I'll have your shield. In a sub-cellar located below the heart of the city, a masked figure studies the case and hits upon a plan to bring the thieves to justice. In the clock stories here, the sub-cellar is gonna play quite a bit of a role. Watchman Hunt on duty again makes his rounds again when What the? I thought I told you, Muggs, to lay low till after this thing blew over. Ra- raise them, Willie. You don't tell me that. Oh wait, raise them, Willie. You didn't tell me that. The clock. Right, the first time, and you're going to tell me a lot more. We'd better go over to my place in case you decide not to talk. I think this place will be safer without you anyway. Hey, how about a light in this dive? Well, your tongue seemed quite tight coming here. Are you ready to talk? Not the way you think. Very well. You asked for this. Look at that door, Batgoat. Look
Yeah.
look at that door. Okay. Now, looking at that door, think about it for a moment and think about some of the clues I gave. How the subcellar would be um, would be a key piece of the clock's mythos here. And just considering what you've seen in the dialogue so far, what do you think is behind that door?
A cuckoo bird that pops out and goes cuckoo.
No. Try
I
again.
have no idea.
Okay, a subcellar. So, what are some things you might find in a cellar or a subcellar?
A dope wine collection.
That's one thing, but that's not what I'm referring to here.
I don't know. What do you have down there?
What are some things that you'd find in a subcellar? Let's say in a castle.
Well, like a dungeon, right?
Okay, yep, yep.
And so are you saying like that door? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that door looked pretty menacing, like it's leading to a dungeon.
Yeah, and that's where I was trying to get you to go with it.
Okay, I
Just
didn't see that. I didn't see that.
excuse me a moment. I gotta go off camera for a quick sec. I was trying to lead you there and see if you'd pick up with the but you can see here uh um you can see kind of some of the interesting torture devices there.
Yeah, it's torture. He's, instead of the Iron Maiden, he's got the Iron Lady.
Uh-huh. Among other things. Anyways, continue on here. Um most of these devices you can recognize. Some I've improved. For instance, over there, when hanging by the thumbs, um, rope stretches due to the weight of the body, permitting the feet to rest on that tray. A mixture of broken glass and salt. Oh man, ouch! Imagine having let's say we decided to put him on there and take off his shoes and socks and bare feet, having him stand.
Yeah. Ouch.
Quite torturous.
Broken glass and salt.
I'll talk.
Hey, Anon.
Ain't on here, huh?
Yeah, just stopped in.
Yeah. A dungeon? Woody got it.
He did. He did. He got it.
Hey, just stopping in to say hi, hanging out with a lady friend for a bit. Here, a good one, gents. Have a good one, gents. Yeah, well, hopefully you'll listen to some of this and some of this. Well, what do you think, Baggett? You find this guy interesting so far? This comic character?
The clock?
Yes.
Not really.
Uh, he's kind of the type who basically tortures his victims. This would be played up quite a bit more in quality comics. When we get there, I'll have a lot more to say on that. Let's see. I did a stretch a couple of years ago, and when I got out, I came here and got this job with something like this in mind. Where are your friends hiding? 210 River Street, and they have the jewels too. I'm not turning you over to the police yet, just in case you're lying, and I hope you're not. Crouched inside the gang's hideout, the clock is about to strike. What do you think of the storytelling thus far, Backo?
As far as compared to
How
compared to the,
it's playing out, how everything, how things are playing out here, and all that.
I don't know. This one doesn't reach me. I just
Is it that you're just not as much into the detective mystery stuff, or
no.
is it,
It's just no good. I don't like this clock guy with a stupid napkin on his face for his disguise.
well, actually, it's supposed to look like a clock, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
This guy just isn't. Yeah, I like the Doc Ock was cool. You know, I like the Don Coyote guy.
Yeah. Let's see. Grab, grab Sky Mug and walk straight ahead, and no comedy. Look, boys, what things come in when you leave windows open? A clock!
Hey, Leto, you got to head to work. Have a good one there, dude.
Hey, Leto. Hey, Mike, Batgoat, boys, Woody, and Anon. How are you? Sorry, but I gotta head straight to work. But we'll be listening. Well, hopefully you find some of what we're talking about here. I'm reading through a story called Alias the Clock. Or yep. Um, kind of a detective mystery adventure story here. Um, already past the hour mark. Yeah, yeah, Phantom. Yup, yup. Will I put his lights out now? Wait. Get the ice. Then get the boat ready. On the way out, we'll feed him the fish to the fish. It's quieter, and we'll get a look at the dude's fizz too. Watch him in the hall, slug. We'll be right back. Trusting a hidden spring in his cane, the head flies off knocking Slug unconscious, giving the clock command of the situation again. So I guess you right there, Batgoat.
Mm-hmm.
Having on his cane there, and they just shot it together.
Yeah.
Strike 12, gentlemen. Strike 12, gentlemen. I have you covered. I guess that's another way of saying raise your hand or stick them up.
Yeah, I don't get the reference though.
Strike 12. Okay, the guy's name is the clock.
Yeah.
Strike 12.
Oh yeah.
12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Like a grandfather clock.
Yeah.
I know you must be uncomfortable. So I'll send the police to release you as soon as possible. Adios, my friends. That could be the last. And then he leaves a letter here. Let's see if I can read the cursive here. My dear Captain, if you will go to 24 Clive Street, you will find the gang who robbed Porter's jewelry store on the corner of Elm and Main Street. You will find the leader, Bill Hunt, chained to a light pole. Chained to a light pole. Get how this guy gets to the criminals, huh?
Yeah.
The gang,
Whatever works.
yeah. The gang is yours to do with as you please. Do with as you please. Yeah, another kind of torture dominate.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Anyways, I suggest giving them life. The alternate, the blank are the can't even make out what that word is. Blank are mine to be converted into money and distributed among the poor of the city. I guess, the stones, that's what it is. The stones are mine to be converted into money and
Okay.
distributed among the poor of the city. And
Okay.
That's another thing that he did too. There was a bit of a Robin Hood esque aspect to the clock as
Mm-hmm.
well. Let's see. Their investigation. Through investigation, I found that Barlow, the old skinflint, had more money than he can see. Please take full credit for the arrest. Clock strikes again, and that was a P.S. Don't forget. Let's see. Don't forget a hacksaw.
Excellent.
The clock, and he was known, and the clock, of course, is known for leaving like calling cards. Why the nerve of that crook? Kelly! Ah, never mind. Come in, sir. Whoever he is, he pulled me out of a spot, but I must do my duty and track him down. I think that's Another episode of The Clock in the next issue. So I guess that one in particular didn't do it for you, huh?
Not really.
So was it the detective mystery part, or was it the torture part, or was it just the overall feel?
Just boring. I didn't like it. Couldn't get into it.
Yeah. It's interesting, and again, this would be played up more during his Quality Comics run. As Quality Comics, with Quality Comics, and now just a little heads up, Quality Comics is where like DC picked up properties like Plastic Man, Blackhawks, and the heroes that made up the Freedom Fighters, like Uncle Sam, Dollman, Black Condors, Phantom Lady, and those set. They had a propensity for when it comes to like police procedure and like Miranda. And, well, of course, there was no Miranda, I think, back in the 30s, but in terms of Miranda rights, but in terms of constitutional search and seizure and all that, let's just say that they were very unconstitutional in their methods.
Sure.
So, anyways, hopefully I didn't make it any more boring for you with how I was reading it.
No. That wasn't it. It was just the
material. Just the material itself.
Just not a story that grabbed me. You know, some of them I like, and others are just like, eh.
Thanks, guys. Leto and hi Leto. Sorry about no stream today. Both hands up. Yep. And guys, I hope you guys may have got something out of it as well. I gotta step away from the computer for just a couple of minutes. I'll be right back. Batgoat, why don't you talk to everybody, see how everybody's doing? Okay, I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Hello. I have nothing prepared. I'm sorry. Let's see. I did not restart the Mando or Cobra Kai yet. I had mentioned that on Wednesday, right? Or Tuesday was I here? That I need to rewatch Mando because I got a little tipsy towards the end. I'm like, wait, what happened? And Cobra Kai, I haven't even started season 3. I love Cobra Kai, so I don't know about you guys if any of you guys are excited for those shows. I'm also excited to see The Witcher, season 2 of The Witcher. I watched that on Netflix. I don't know if anyone else is watching that. When I went out today and did some shopping, I bought a bunch of DVDs for my grandson because I'm going out to see the kids on Sunday. So I went to the mall, my local mall that's dying. Hardly any people there. And there's a little store called FYE that has it's like for Gen Xers. It has CDs, DVDs, and vinyl records. So I bought the kid a lot of DVDs.
All right. So hopefully everybody's been enjoying some of the coverage here of some of these older comics. We'll move on to popular comics first, since that we'll kind of go in ascending order in terms of numbers. So we did a couple premiere issues there with funnies and funny picture stories. So now popular comics number 10 is what we'll look at next. Woody had a few things to say here. Let's both hands up. We already saw that. What you need is a little sour diesel.
I didn't know you knew strains, Woody. You don't talk about it like me and Anon do. So yeah, a little sour diesel would help. Pick me
or
right
something. I don't know. I live out here in the land of dryness.
Yeah, dry here in Minnesota too.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the next feature here. Popular comments. And considering how long, see, we're coming up on an hour and a half. So I was going to read the Dick Tracy. I was thinking of reading the Dick Tracy story here, but that one's like 4 pages. So I'm going to read one that's a little less in terms of page count. Probably Tom Mix. Trying to mix them up a bit to give you guys kind of a variety. But let's see. So got 64 pages is kind of the norm for this time period. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So about 2 to 3 pages per thing there. They have Little Orphan Annie here, but when I went to look to see if they actually had the story in the comic, they did not. Maybe just a scan prong or whatever, but
does everyone have their Little Orphan Annie decoder ring ready to decode the message? Drink more Ovaltine. It's a crummy commercial. That's from A Christmas Story. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so anyways, we're gonna so in this case, since again there's not as much a need to go for the so let's see now. Oh yeah, Dell Comics is where so yeah, as now we're starting to see more, more of the stories, more of the. We now have 3 companies instead of just one that's producing multiple books. It's publishing multiple books here. So let's see, popular comics. There we go, right there. Go down to number 10 here. We'll kind of breeze through the pictures as well, so you guys can. And on the cover there, of course, Apple, Mary, Skippy, Dick Tracy, Orphan Annie, Harry, and it's me. And I looked through this and oh boy, did you see that drop kick? Now, of course, in this, of course, back in these days, a drop kick was a term used for a punt, what we know of as a punt in football today.
Mm-hmm.
So they called it a drop kick back then. So of course, here's the Dick Tracy story. Obviously it's 4 pages. I'm not going to read it because I want to get through some of these a little bit quicker. Terry and the Pirates, Nugent's Originals, always a little Ripley's Believe It or Not,
Ripley's,
Little Joe, Straw Cartoon, Smiling Jack, Tom Mix. So Tom Mix predates John Wayne. He was, from what I understand of this time period, he was the John Wayne of this time period, basically. A lot of people grew up watching John Wayne Western films, while Tom Mix was what John Wayne would eventually become later, obviously, of this time period. So Tom Mix, the fighting cowboy. General Bartell at the fort told Captain Knight to be ready to start out in a few hours with and for the beleaguered ranch. Tom had not eaten for 24 hours and enjoyed the cook's offering of steak, hot biscuits, apple pie, and coffee. Oh, I'd say he probably did. If you haven't eaten in 24 hours.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds like a very hearty meal. That long.
Yep.
After his hearty meal, Tom was given a cot and fell into the heavy slumber of physical weariness. He was um, he was awakened soon after dawn. I also remember that with the Tom Mix stories too. 'Cause I actually remember hearing this from J.D. Hayworth when he had his show on Newsmax. Apparently, I guess he had one of those things where you get a Tom Mix pocket knife as a kid back in these days, or back in the days he was going around. He would eventually get his own series in Fawcett as well, Fawcett Comics as well. So mounted on a large, powerful stallion provided by the general, Tom headed the company of cavalry as they started out. The trip was uneventful until Tom discovered and pointed out to his companions the lodges of the Indians who had captured him. The general lined up his troops, 4 deep, and told the men how to work out his plan of attack. At the first sound of the soldiers and the pounding of the horses' hooves, the Indians dashed, fighting from their tents. Now, of course, back in these days, they were still being called Indians. Today, that would be considered an offensive term.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind. At first, routed by the sudden attack, the Braves soon rallied, and their overwhelming superiority of numbers began to tell. Setting spur to his mount, Tom broke through a circle of savages surrounding the two officers and led them to safety. Reinforcements for the troops arrived, and the Indians gave way. Red Eagle saw the rout of his warriors with no outward emotion. The chief agreed that they would lay down their arms if the white leaders would try to secure better lands for them at Washington. So this is obviously set during the 1800s, obviously. Next issue of Popular Comics on sale everywhere, Friday, October 23rd. So there's a bit of it. And then here's some more Tom Mix right here, the Fighting Cowboy. Early the next morning, Tom heard a low, familiar whinny. He plunged into the wood and there found his beloved horse, Tony. He examined the horse and found him unharrowed.
Unharmed.
I found him unharmed. I have a hunch everything will be all right now, he said to himself. Spurred on by Tom's urging, the cavalry made a hurried breakfast and were on their way before the sun was up. All day long, the soldiers pushed forward, but as the sun set, they knew the circle the circle would not be reached. Circle W would not be reached um, before nightfall. When the general announced that he would make camp for the night, Tom decided to go on, waving his hat to the troops. He was off. When he reached the ranch house, everything was silent. Alarmed, he worked his way slowly forward on foot. As Tom watched in the moonlight, he heard stealthy movements in the brush and saw the figure of a man before the ranch house. I got to go off camera for just a quick sec. Be right back. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. It looks like there was some conversation here, so let's see what. Thanks, guys. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, we saw that. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Leto from Smiling Jack was another favorite of the '60s Sunday. I mean, well, a lot of these came out in through the papers. A lot of these were reprints. So, Feather or Dot, laugh out loud. Hey, Natalie. What was there? Somebody named Natalie here?
No. I don't know what he's saying.
Well, unless it's on the like some of you guys aren't coming through on the like the other night there was somebody came on who I didn't see on the apparently they made a comment on the okay, and even on okay, so I don't even know what that is then apparently. Hey Natalie, I don't even know. Well, apparently Toy's comment here was was between two of Woody's, but on YouTube it didn't come through for some reason. So, oh wait, yeah, actually there it is. Laugh out loud. Hey Natalie. Well, okay, but it doesn't look like there was any Natalie who made any comments here. Oh, okay. Hi, Natalie. Okay.
There's
Hi.
Natalie.
Oh, yeah. Natalie. Okay. Probably
Hello.
should.
Hello, Natalie.
Hey Natalie, welcome to the stream. Believe the proper PC name for them nowadays is quote football term. Hey Natalie, welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us. I take it you're a friend of ATC Action Toys Channel. Hopefully, I hope you're enjoying the content here. So we'll continue on here. A man's arms were loaded with inflammables, which he was stacking against the wooden wall of the old ranch house. Then Tom saw the flag of the all right the flare. Okay, I'm sorry, the flare of a match. At that moment, he fired and yelled of pain. Told him his shot had been well aimed. Dropping the match, the man sprang out into the moonlight. Tom, recognizing Dunham, leapt from the shadows to make his escape. An outlaw blocked his path. Tom's fist caught him low. The blank out like got caught. Caught him blank out like a light. And Tom, as he raced for his horse, see what happens in our next issue. So Tom Mix is only a 2-pager here. Hi guys, laugh out loud. Hi. Okay, so yeah. So that's Tom Mix right there. Let's see where are we at? Hour and 36. So I'm gonna try to do the last one real quick, which I'm gonna go to more fun here. Because there is a story from More Fun I wanted to read you as well. Because again, kind of continuing the Siegel Schuster stuff. So this one was another number 15 here was another 64 pager. And we had Dr. Colton there as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So another 2 to 3 pager. So, okay, so with that, I'm going to try to read the last story here for this. Going to read Mikestand here. There we go. Go down to number 15. Oh, they don't. Okay, they don't have that one here. So I guess I'll have to go try the. Let me. This last story I'm going to read is only 2 pages, so I know I'm coming up on an hour and 45. Batgoat. I saw I was at an hour 36, so this one will be quick. But this one I wanted to read because it's another Siegel Schuster creation, Radio Squad. I'd mentioned this to you before.
Siegel Schuster joint.
Yeah. As in the same guys who wrote Superman and Slam Bradley and Okay, so here we go. Calling All Cars, Sandy Keene and the Radio Squad by Jerome Siegel and Joe Schuster.
Calling out cars. Calling out cars.
Okay, so this story is basically about a gang of kidnappers called the Blue Tiger who basically kidnapped a police the basically a police woman's daughter, I believe. This is the same girl. I think I may have read part of it at the beginning of the story previously. This is the same girl that Sandy Keene had spanked. Oh, um, as Burke fires Bailey jerks the rug. Okay, so, yeah, okay. As Burke um, fires, Bailey jerks the rug upon which the gangster is standing, sending him sprawling into the open trap door. Um, quick thinking, Commissioner. At the sound of the shot, other gangsters rush into the room. He disobeyed orders. Stop staring and bring Doris Bailey to me. Scotty, go tell Myrna to bring in the Bailey dame. Minutes later, Dad, you've come for me. Remember this? I believe when I read this, I think even Leto was calling her a Karen.
Yeah.
Do you remember me reading that story, Batgoat, about her getting spanked?
No.
Okay, I think I thought I'd read it to you guys, but maybe you weren't. Well, okay. Anyways, Doris, if they've harmed you, look, look, he's not wearing the ring. That's not the tiger. It's an imposter. Myrna sees through the deception. Of course I'm the tiger. She's mad. Yeah? Well, here's your chance to prove it. Take off that mask. Sandy reaches for his gun, but he is clutched from behind by the tiger, um, who has revived. Don't don't shoot him. I've something special reserved for coppers who get too smart. It's the chief. At the point of the tiger's gun, Sandy is led into an adjoining room and imprisoned within a glass tank. There. That takes care of you. Now to return and attend to Bailey and his daughter. Keene beats helplessly at the glass, then to his horror, water pours down upon him from overhead. Rises to his knees, his waist to his shoulders, then laps at his chin. As the water rises above Sandy's head, Myrna enters the room and fires point blank at the tank. Keene steps free from the shattered tank. Why did you save me? The tiger is my father. A year ago, an accident affected his mind and he turned criminal. I want you to have him cured in a mental sanitarium, not sent to jail. But hurry, your friends are in danger. Racing into the next room, Sandy gains control of the situation. I said keep him up. Line up against the wall. Quick. Yep, get me police headquarters. Several days later, hence the Purple Tiger Gang case is closed. Sandy, back on his patrol, pursues a speeder. Hey, hey, what's the idea of why it's Doris? Well, you're getting a ticket anyway. Fine, just just what I hoped. Then Dad'll call you over tonight to apologize, and we'll begin again where we left off, just before I was kidnapped. Now, I think I might have read the beginning of this story to you guys. Maybe it was in number 10. But when he pulled her over the first time, she kind of smarted off to him. In fact, I think Leto had even commented that she was being a Karen. And so what he did is, after he kind of tore up the ticket, he basically put her over his knee and spanked her.
Ooh, spankings.
Yeah. Which of course would not go over at all today. But
I don't know. Some people these days they're not real public about it, but they're into spanking.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way: you wouldn't have especially in the climate we're in right now, you wouldn't have a police officer pulling a woman out of a car to give her a spanking, on the street.
That's true. That's true. Good point.
So, with some of these SJW. So, yeah. So, and that's it for that one then. So that one was only a couple pages, so that's why I kind of wanted to read it, because it was another Siegel Schuster story. Some interesting stuff. How did you like that one there, Batgoat?
That was interesting. I liked it.
Yeah, so now we're an hour and 47 minutes. So we're coming up on 2 hours. If you don't mind sticking around afterwards, Batgoat, for a couple minutes. I won't try to keep you as long this time.
Okay. No problem.
But anyways, I think it's a good time to start wrapping up, because we're coming up on 2 hours. So is everybody ready for this day in each history?
History.
Let's see. Spoil the rod. Yeah, they should though. Yeah. Well, could you imagine? Well, could you imagine that guy who killed George Floyd, instead of putting his knee on his neck? Could you imagine trying to spank him?
No.
Yeah. So, anyway, but George Floyd probably needed a good spanking, probably growing up. But that's another story for another day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, we're gonna get to this day in each history. Today being Friday, January the 22nd, 2021. Let's take a look back at this day in each history. So first off, we're going to head back 40 years ago today. On this date, 40 years ago today, DC Comics would release on the newsstands the 480th issue of Adventure Comics. On this date in 1981. At this point in time, Adventure was featuring Dial H for Hero, which was found out by these two kids. This, what they call the Hero Dial, it looked kind of like a phone dial, but was very old, even predated actual phones. Okay, and they would dial HERO, and they would turn into a different type of superhero each time they messed with it. So on this day in 1981, the 480th issue of Adventure Comics went on sale on this date back 40 years ago. today. So moving on then. On this date, 20 years ago, from the Cajun Dome in Lafayette, Louisiana, WWE would host Monday Night Raw on this date, 2001. The main event saw Triple H and Stephanie McMahon defeat Kurt Angle and Trish Stratus. Also on the card, to start off the card, Test would defeat William Regal for the WWF European Championship at the time. Al Snow and Raven would basically trade the WWF Hardcore Championship back and forth, where Al Snow would defeat Raven, and Raven would beat Al Snow for it, coming back. So, and then Ivory would retain the WWF Women's Champion over Molly Holly. So that's all that happened. And then, so that happened in 2001, 20 years ago today. And then, heading back 15 years ago today, on this date in 2006, 15 years ago today, the B Train produced anime Mein Liebe Weiter would premiere on Animax. On this day in 2006, the B Train produced Mein Liebe Weiter would premiere on Animax. So that's all that happened on this day in Niche history. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Okay. Trying to. Let's see. Heck yes, I'm always ready for some history. That bag full of drugs he swallowed right before he didn't help. Didn't help either. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, guys, that's it for tonight. I thank you again, and I look forward to having you all back on Monday. Batgoat, if you can stick around for a couple minutes.
No problem.
Post-show kind of stuff. And I will see you all on Monday.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.